Okay, so as part of the exam was the first thing was, as I was saying, I haven't got the question paper, which means you guys are supposed to send me the questions, but I guess about 3 people only sent to me. Now, that's not really a group effort. I needed questions uh, because the idea was simple. You send me the questions. Out of the questions, I put those questions as the questions, and then you guys answer it. So you guys only set the exam, you guys only solve the exam, or whatever you. Yeah, that was the simple idea. Now, what do we do? Right, did everybody get that mail? I sent a mail about the question. I'm sure some of you got, or some of you saw. I say, if I had known, I would have sent easy questions. That's why I kept it as a secret. Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason for it being a secret. Okay. So, well, since the question paper is not set up, what we'll do is I will pick up some questions that has been sent, and we can add more questions. So each slide looks exactly like the one that you are seeing. It's a blank slide with a question at the top and your answers at the bottom, and or rather the bottom part of it, right? Let me make capital A. Right? Are we ready? Shall we start? So, yeah, you didn't get the mail on questions. If you're getting all the other mails, this was a part of that mail. So I'm hoping you. So the idea is very simple. When it comes to this topic, we're talking about preparing children for sexuality. Um, I was assuming you will have a lot of questions. Right. So are you okay with this format? I'll put up the questions that you ask, and I'll put up the answers that you do. So I have no role to play, meaning I will be the stenographer in this particular session. Okay, let's try this format. Okay, so this is the first question. Just one moment. Let me decrease the font. Are you able to see the question? Right, this is question number 1. Let me put that. Question number 1. Right, I've just picked up a question from what was sent to me. So none of these questions are mine. Sorry, I'm not really remembering who sent what question. I think Preeti sent this. So you can acknowledge it if you want to say, this is the one that I sent. Okay, Preeti says yes. Yeah. Okay. So, yep, you have to answer. So you can come on mic. Please don't use chat for these kind of answers. Let's come on mic, share your thoughts. The other thing that I would like to do, and I'm just pulling up that slide also, is to see any question. So one is whatever is coming to my mind, my first response, which is absolutely fine. Please share that. The other idea is to see the whole thing from the different windows that we have been, kind of talking about. Right. So any questions you can see. Yep, anybody wants to, just let me pull up the window also. Just give me a moment. Right, can you see what I call as 9 windows? Okay, so right, so this is the question. And let me put the question back. And those are the 9 windows. Go ahead, you have to come on mic. I'm the mute guy today. So go ahead, start with whatever is coming to your mind. That's okay, it's all right.
Hi, Ratnesh. Anybody is going to say anything?
You can start.
Okay. Actually, I got the mail, but I'm sorry, I just missed responding the mail. But I would just like to say that I think this is the area where I have my biggest fears, and I don't know, but I yet feel that I can't watch rape scenes because it stays with me for a real long time, and um, anything uh, anything which has to you know which has to do with physical um, um, force. I think something which has been done or implemented forcefully physically uh, gets me most affected, and I have yet not been able to figure out the solution to that. But forget about talking about it. I just get nervous with or get affected with even the thought of it. I don't know
Sorry,
what is
thought of
going on.
what?
Thought of any uh, you know
Okay, wait. I think you came in little late. This is the. Can you see the question on your on your screen?
oh, yes.
Right.
Yes,
That's
yes,
your
yes.
question number 1 of the exam today, and you
Okay.
have to answer to this question.
Okay.
Yeah, is everybody clear? So I will be putting up questions asked by you all. So you all only set the question paper. Now you are going to do the answers for the exam. Good idea? Okay, whether good or not.
Hi, Rajneesh.
Yes.
Rajneesh, since the child is only 5 years old, I know you say don't bind them down with the concept of age, but I'm just thinking, as you said, what came to my mind, the easiest thing would be to tell the child that I prayed to God, the dad and me prayed to God for you, and then you were God's gift to us, and that is how you came into this world.
Okay. The person who has asked a question can. So this is supposed to be a discussion. I'm not supposed to respond. I will only type out what you guys are saying. So you all have to respond back to Dimple. And you all have to say, okay, we are done with this question. So you can keep discussing till you think you have found your answers. And once you think we are done with this question, we can move on to the next one. So that's the format. You're not telling me the question, but you are all discussing it amongst all of you. So you can grill each other, question each other, help each other, whatever you want to do. It's a group exam.
Ratnesh, Sangeeta here.
Hey, not Ratnesh, you have to say Dimple. Or Preeti. Preeti's question, Dimple's response.
Preeti.
I'm just the typist.
Guys,
You don't address the typist.
Jagriti45 batch, Sangeeta here. Okay, yeah. I don't like this format for your information. Questioning and answering ourselves. Anyway, so how would I answer a 5-year-old about this question? Is maybe I'll take a piece of paper. I'm just thinking out loud. Take a piece of paper and start doodling. Just drawing small things where Papa and Mama are in the old worlds. They are young. Mama is finished college. She started working, and Papa is doing something, working and such. And when we both meet, I mean, it's just like how a movie would go. We both would meet, and we kind of think we like each other, and then we decide that we love each other, that we're going to get married, and show her some wedding pictures if possible, and tell her this is when we decided we'll get married. You were not there at that time. And then Papa and Mama decided we want somebody, this cute little, whatever the baby's name is, cute little, I don't know, I'm just going to pick up a name called Akash. I don't know why. Cute little Akash in our world. So since we love each other, we brought Akash into this world. And when Mama was pregnant, I was huge. My tummy was big. You were inside my tummy. And then when it was time, you came outside the tummy, and we became a family. I don't know, just bring it down like a story and try to draw, doodle wherever I can in the paper, show us some pictures if required. So that's pretty much what I might do.
Hi, Nandita here to all of y'all. To add on to what Sangeeta said, in case of um, in case of my son, who's now, I mean, around when he was 3.5 years old, he was curious about all this. So I told him that babies come out from mama's tummy, and when Papa and Mama decides to have a baby, the baby is taken care in mama's tummy to certain, for certain amount of time, and when the baby gets heavy to carry, that's when mama goes to the hospital, and the doctor takes the baby out of mama's tummy. And uh, and it's just a couple of days back, and so he knows pretty much that the babies come from the mother's tummy. So a couple of days back, he was asking me that, so mama, why is that only women have to carry the babies? So when I grow big, I'm going to be strong enough so that I can carry a baby too. So and so I just told him maybe that's possible. When you grow up, that could also be possible. So yeah, I just told him facts, but to a certain extent, he's not yet 4. So yeah, to a certain extent, he knows like what happens. So when he sees pregnant women, he knows that they are carrying babies.
Hello. Hi, Nikita here. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes, Nikita, we are able to hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. I had the same situation with my 3.5-year-old baby. the thing is, once we automatically have a next baby, I think they're more curious to know why, what, how, and all that. So when I had my second baby, even he was very curious, because from day one he saw my tummy becoming bigger and bigger, and he knew that there was a baby inside, and he kept questioning, like same as the earlier person said, that why and how, all that. And he knows mama papa have a baby now, and that is why after him there's another one which comes. So I think it's easy to make a child understand once you have a second baby, or maybe somebody in the family has a baby, then maybe you can explain it in that way, that see, now they have a baby, so because they are married, and the same way how we spoke earlier, same like Sangeeta, what she said.
Sorry, Nikita, I can't help laughing. So I put your thought as, if you want to tell your child, have a second baby.
It's more easier to make them understand, and to create love in them, I feel. So I said, Dimple or whoever asks a question, I think they should have a second baby soon.
Uh, Actually, Radha here. I'm just wondering, like, okay, so the second baby is coming up now. What do we say? That's my doubt, actually. I didn't get that part. You have to tell something, but just tell me, like, what you exactly told when you had the second baby, your first child.
Radhe, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Are you asking how you tell the kid how the second baby is made, or how it comes out?
No. See, actually, what I understood was, when you have the second baby, it is easy to explain. That's what I got. I got the point as. But what do we say? Yeah. So yeah, the babies. There are some other of our relatives having a baby now. Then with that, what will I say? So what?
Nikita, I assume that was directed at you. But then anybody can answer. But I think that's what.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm just thinking, and I'm going to answer it.
Sure.
Hi, Anita here. Nikita, if I would like to answer this, because when I had my second one, my second baby, my son asked me, "Why do you want to have a second baby?" When I'm there. So when I told him that after some time, when we become old and I mean, when you're growing up, you don't have anybody to play with.
Wait. We are digressing out of the question. Please go back to the question on the slide. The point is, how do we address these questions? Not about why you want to have a second baby. That's not the question. The question is, where did I come from? How was I when I was pregnant? Why
It's
I'm
pretty
not
much
there?
the same, like however everybody else has like pointed out.
Sure.
That's the way usually. I mean, even I did tell my child. But the thing about her family discouraging, she's curious, and my family discourages her from asking further on this. That I was kind of thinking. I mean, why would you want to discourage? You can always answer it in like a story. So, like how everybody just pointed it out. So there is no thing of discouraging there. I think the child pretty much will understand.
Okay, I'm just reminding the group so those are the first few responses, but the exam is from the syllabus is this. So maybe are your questions part of syllabus, out of syllabus? Sorry, are your answers?
Okay, my belief is a child doesn't know and she's asking the question. Maybe the child knows something about it. So we encourage the child to talk about what he or she already knows. And I'm going to wait for somebody else to talk or elaborate on some other topic. I mean,
Sorry, you said your belief is child does not know. So what will you do? I just trying to.
first encourage the child. Maybe uh, 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 ask. I mean, you know, ask her back. What do you think? Or how do you think you came into this world? First ask her back these questions and rephrase it and ask her back these questions. So based on what she knows or she doesn't know, take it further. I don't know. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna let everybody else talk and wait for the answers.
So I think that this curiosity will always be there. It's good to be curious, right? So probably we can go on in the creative mode, like try collecting, like what what do the kid think, how the kid comes, or how the child is born. Probably go on a collection mode, like what are the possibilities, maybe something like that, or question the kid and question the kid for the responses that he or she gives. So I don't think
So
it can be
how do
just
you go on a collection mode? Can you elaborate on that? One is asking what
um,
kid thinks.
yeah, what kid thinks. Another could be like um, not not only about kids, like the kids see even animals, right? Like pups or cats and stuffs like that. So just go back on and ask about how I mean, like how is a bird comes out, or just go on collecting those kind of things, like even about animals, maybe how a pup is born, how a kitten is born, because they see all this in everyday life. So
Okay.
maybe go on a
More
collection
ideas
mode
on
like that.
collection. More ideas on collection. So one is kid, one is animals. What else?
I'm not able to think right
There are
now,
a lot
but
of
I'll
books
get back.
nowadays which are available.
Sorry, Nikita.
Can we add books to it
Books about.
about parts of the body so that they understand what it is, and maybe different family pictures in it. There are a lot of books, I guess, nowadays which are available.
Yeah, but about books available about what? Specifically
About
about how babies are made. As in,
mm,
are you referring to books which can help parents answer children's question? Are that the kind of
yeah,
books?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because you kept on saying books, I wanted to be sure you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Actually, there are also books about, what to do when mama's having a baby, or what happens when mama's having a baby. Books specific for kids, actually. So we can show them those kind of books, I guess, also.
Actually, I had a book when same thing as Sangeeta was saying, when I was pregnant, for me to read it. But he was more curious and he started seeing it and he started asking questions. So that's when he kind of understood. Okay, fine, something is about mama's body that a baby.
Okay. Anything more on collection? Or any other thought, meaning not just collection. Let me put this window back. Sujay said empower, make the child answer, but how? Sujay, would you like a little talk about what you have in mind? Are you guys there? Are you able to hear me? Okay. I was just little not sure. Is something wrong with my connection because there was like dead silence. Okay. I'm obviously going to keep putting these windows back. You know the purpose. This is the syllabus of the exam. And the idea is to see, hey, what all we can explore, which all windows would we like to look out of when we are in a situation. So hopefully this will kind of help you. So Jay, are you there? Would you like to elaborate on your thought about empowerment?
If Suja's not there, then I would try to even think from the feelings point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Understand the reason or the feeling behind the kid's question, whether it was out of curiosity or is it out of somebody has told something, and or is it out of he finds something surprising, different, or is it out of he wasn't there when he was seeing the wedding albums, right? He or she. So is it because he feels left out? That is the reason why he's curious or she is curious. Yeah, she is curious.
Are
Or
you
is it
talking about,
because of
are you talking about feelings, or are you talking about the reason why he's asking this question? So I'm confused.
yeah, it could be reason,
Okay, then answer.
but at the same time, when she is questioning, she's also having a feeling, right? As in when she questions like why I'm not there in the wedding albums, then it could be there is some the reason is there, but she could also be feeling that angry that I was left out and I was not a part of your wedding, or she could
So
feel
what would
that,
you do? So what
uh,
would you do? What
or
would
she
you
could
say or ask?
I would actually try to relate to that feeling first. If
How?
it's out of like for example, if it is like
That's in
wedding
the
album
album
and
case.
she's
Yeah.
angry that
Yeah. Go
yeah
ahead. Yeah. Yeah. In the album case, how would
yeah
you respond?
yeah in the album case and she's angry and then things like that, then I would go saying that I understand that you are angry, maybe upset with mama papa that we didn't take your picture in the wedding album. Try to connect and say that I understand the feeling, and then slowly from then on, maybe start asking um, um, uh, like try to relate saying that why do you think you were not there once we get that bond, and she knows that I'm actually trying to understand that she's angry, then probably ask why she thinks we left her out. We don't otherwise leave her, so why did she think? So maybe go on a questioning mode after that, and then based on her response, like maybe to an extent
Sorry, I think your voice is breaking. I think the
answer
last
to a
part.
certain extent, just facilitate. You're able to hear me, right?
Now, yes.
Yeah. May not answer her I may not answer her fully why she's if she asks, I mean, why she thinks she's not there in the album. She might come up with questions, or she might come up with her own reasons
Mm.
based on what her understanding is on why she's not there in the album. Then take it forward from there. Maybe to certain extent may answer, or sometime may not answer, but just probe further, or then go on in. If she let's say she's I can't think of an answer like right now, but let's say that again she's angry that no, that day probably uh, I mean, what if she thinks like she was a bad, I mean, she behaved badly that day or something like that, and we were angry with her. That's why we didn't take her to the marriage. I mean, I'm just whatever comes on top of my mind.
Sure.
But it could be any answer, right? Based on that, I'll just take it forward from there. And if it again it's in the same anger emotion of her, then try just being with that emotion, just trying to understand that emotion and probe further,
Okay.
and then maybe question or reason, or start collecting some more of her thoughts, or ask her to find out who else was left in the album, whom she knows. Maybe her friends might ask the reason why we didn't take y'all.
Okay. Just a small tip I want to give, which has worked a lot with me when I'm asking children questions, like how she was saying, ask her what does she think and why her friends were not there, and so on. So when children are answering, what has worked a lot with, especially with younger children, children of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5, 6 years, is that I write down their answers for them. As they are speaking, I grab a pen, paper, if possible, a notebook, and I actually write it down and maybe even draw, doodle their answers, not my answers, their answers. I leave it to you to think why it helps, or how it helps, or maybe just experience how it helps or why it helps. But that's my personal experience, especially with younger children, that it helps. By younger children, I mean children who are yet not into writing. So I write for them. I'm like a whatever personal secretary for them and recording their thoughts. So I'm not just collecting, I'm collecting and recording it. And the another fun part of it is when they grow up to be, let's say, 16 years old, and you read their 3-year-old responses. It's amazing. So it's not just a photo album, it's a thought album. So that's another advantage, and you can have an amazing time just reading it 10 years later.
Thanks for sharing that, Ratnesh. Actually, I'm curious to know why. I don't know why. I don't want to say why it works, but just a couple 2 3 days back, I was having a feelings talk with Ashwath, and he said, "Amma, you please write down whatever I'm saying." Actually, I didn't understand him why he wanted me to do it, and I still don't know. But he liked that part of me. I am writing down what I feel, so he wanted also to put it down in words. I said, I don't know why, but I'm also curious. Maybe we can have the talk later or something.
No, no, not
I'm
later.
curious if my children like
No
it.
need, no need. Why does everything we need to know why? We can just have something because somebody likes it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, I did that, but I was
No, no,
just
that's what I'm
wondering.
saying. Yeah, yeah. Forget the why. That's not a useful question.
Exactly. All right.
Let's explore what else. I like that
Yeah.
question more rather than why. Why something works,
Okay.
why something doesn't work, who cares? What else? What else can I do?
Yeah, what else to this question is when Nandita was talking, I was just thinking about maybe take an example of a cousin, my cousin as such, or my child's cousin, and think about their wedding, which my child has attended, but that baby has not yet attended. That baby might have been only 1 year or so. So try to get creative and talk about their uncle's wedding where my child was there, but the baby was not there, right? Show them photos of the uncle wedding where my child is there, they are not there. And now how a new baby has come into that their world after their marriage. So try, I mean, just show the picture and let the child talk about it. How baby B, baby A or baby B hasn't come yet. So why hasn't she come? Now she has come. Talk, relate it with someone we know, maybe a neighbor or a relative.
Okay. Okay. Somebody wants to take it from a totally different window. Sorry, somebody's saying something.
Yeah, it's me. I just wanted to add what you talked about recording. I was always doing it for Natik from when he was 2 years, and believe me, it helps so much because sometimes he says, "Amma, take the one which you wrote some 2 3 days back," and then we actually start from there again. So that record helps a lot. And he has a book for his own where we write down stuff.
Your
Whatever
voice is
he
breaking. Yeah.
speaks or whatever he wants to do, that really works.
Sure, sure.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
Is
in
it better?
between. Yes, now it's better. It was breaking in between.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly tell that the recording works, and I've been doing it for Natik where from the time he was two
Yeah,
years.
got that
And
part.
there are so many times that we've gone back to it, and taken from there, and it's a wonderful tool, actually very useful.
Okay, I was saying somebody wants to try a totally different window. Or if you want, we can also move ahead to other questions. So your choice. So how much time you spend on each question is also up to you. You guys are appearing in exams, right? So you decide which question, how much time you want to spend. Also, a lot of times, some of these questions are, as in another question would be of a similar category. So in itself, that question has been answered without that specific question being answered. Does that make sense? In the sense, in this case, we're talking about child asking about how I came, but the child could be asking about 100 other things, right? For example, a boy may ask, looking at let's say a bra or a bra advertisement, saying why I don't wear these, so like that. So those are those similar questions, or you think those are different questions? So would you put them in the same category and say, okay, I got the general idea, now I can approach any questions? Or you're saying, okay, I got idea only about this question? So you decide. Please tell me, or rather tell us.
I think this kind of situation we face a lot in general in public. I've seen a lot of kids asking this question, particularly for sanitary napkins. I mean, whenever there's Whisper or Stay Free or any ad coming in, they don't know and they will ask this question in public. I mean, when everybody's sitting and they will ask this question to the mother. I think it's the similar kind of situation.
Okay. So are we assuming we have kind of answered the whole category of these kind of curiosity questions? If you want to generalize, question number one is, what if child is curious about X? Does that make sense?
I think we can look at the rest of the questions and then decide, Ratnesh, because your question and
No, I'm trying to create a category called curiosity. So is there a category called curiosity questions? Where could be curiosity could be about anything. It could be about whatever. Let's say a child hears on a TV XYZ raped, and the child hears that word raped and asks you, what is rape? Or the child hears a song, something, and asks you, what is sexy? Or anything. Or the child simply asks, why don't people go naked on the roads? I don't know. Any of these curiosity questions. So are we, because there's possibly a million questions, and each child will ask a different set of questions, not that all will ask the same question. And obviously we can't have each of those questions answered. We need to look at a category and say, okay, for these kind of questions, we can do these things. That's what I mean. Sorry, over to you. Over to you all.
Maybe we can park the questions as curiosity questions for now and see what else kind of questions we have. And then we can come back to this category and explore more if needed, if everybody's okay with that. So can we move on to the next question?
So Sangeeta, there was a question by you. I'm just reading out the question. It said two children are exploring each other's body just out of curiosity and doing so as a secret. Now, this is a little beyond just coming to you and asking a curious question, but actually exploring body out of curiosity. So you want this to be a separate question, or you think it falls within the same? I'm saying you, but anybody can say that, share their thoughts. Let me, this is what Sangeeta had written. Just put that in the chat window. If you ask me, I'll create a new slide for that. If you think this part of this, we will leave it as that.
I'm not sure this was my question, Ratnesh. I don't think so. Or have you rephrased it? I
No,
don't know.
no, I'm copy pasting. Okay, maybe
No,
not
no, I
yours.
don't think.
Okay,
Okay,
Nandita,
then
I
that.
had asked. Sorry, I got the names wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's absolutely fine.
because I had not copied the names, I just made a list of questions. Okay, yeah. So whatever. I'm saying as a group, we can decide if this question is similar or we want to take this question as separate. So what do you want? What do you guys want? Do you think it's within the same or you want a separate discussion on it? You want to park it aside for now? You want to take it now? Okay. Okay. Okay, so we can park it aside and we can come back. Shall I move ahead? Or you want
I don't know. Whichever answers have been there in the first question itself, be it curiosity or any other genre, I think we haven't yet reached to a point where um, we are telling anything about a girl being a girl and a guy being a guy. That is, they being, it's about sex. So I think we haven't reached to that point at all. I mean, whatever we have said, it's a story, and of course this is part of the story, but I'm sure, uh, I don't know, I don't know, but will this all talk answer their questions, what they really want to know? And if we answer certain things also, then to what extent and how? Why I'm saying this is simply because there are a lot of content available on the net, and unfortunately today's kids, whoever is studying, uh, they use internet like part of their project, even the 4-year, 5-year, 6-year-old kids, and they are getting exposed to a lot of things. So I don't know. I still haven't got even a minutest clue of in which direction we can go to make them richer in their curiosity, or maybe in knowing themselves or knowing their surroundings well.
I have a similar thought. So, whatever be the story we make up, say God's gift or prayer or anything, the child will not stop there. The child will always have uh, questions to get us to answer because they know they know there's something lying behind it. So, I don't have a concrete answer now, but I'm just sharing my thought that um, as far as my kids or any kids are concerned, I am sure that stories will not work, but I don't know how concretely I will answer at that time. I'm just thinking.
Sujaya, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If a child comes and asks you, let's say, how does an aeroplane work? Hmm.
Yeah.
And the child comes and asks you, whatever, how a baby is made, right?
Yeah.
Um, are there similar questions in the sense for you in terms of how you feel about them, how you think about them, how you respond about them? Are they similar questions or are they different questions?
Okay. Uh, from the point of view, like no, just a second, I'm just rethinking,
Sure, sure.
rephrasing. Yeah. So from the child's point of curiosity, I mean, I'm not able to put it in words. Curiosity angle, yes, they are the same. From our response, also
Not
it should
our,
be the same.
your.
Yeah,
I'm asking
yeah,
how
my
is your
response.
feeling about each one of those? Let's start with the feelings.
Yeah, right.
Do you feel
So
the
to be
same?
frank, yeah, to be frank, I have not encountered such questions yet, but I keep thinking to myself that I should not be differentiating that. So
Mm-hmm.
practically, when I practically when I am in the situation, see, I cannot guarantee how I will act that time, but I keep thinking to myself that I should not be differentiating, and I should be not explaining, obviously, like as you said, we should collect and we should make them talk and we should okay, all that will come, but okay, what I thought is I should not differentiate. That's all. So
Mm-hmm.
because of the simple fact that what Vishruti also told, if not me, they have many sources to answer them. So
Then why are
it
we
is
worried
nothing to
about to
hide.
what
Yeah,
extent? So when the child asks about aeroplane and let's say you chit chat about aeroplane, to what extent you will
yeah.
talk about aeroplane? Same question to Dimple. Why
To
are we
that
worried about
extent,
the
I
extent?
know.
Are you worried about the extent when the child is talking about aeroplanes or talking about anything, rainbows or anything in this world, or a king or anything? Are we worried about extent?
No,
Then
like
why are
in
we worried
whatever
about
the
extent here?
whatever the domain is, we will like again we, as you say, we should not answer completely, but be it aeroplane or whatever the domain is, we will do the entire process of collecting and whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay, and I have a small objection. I counted, you put five shoulds to me. You said, you said, as you say, we should not or should do this. Sorry, I have
Okay,
not said
okay.
any should at all. Not
Yeah,
even
okay.
one
So that is
should.
what I learned. Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
please,
Okay.
what I'm
Rules of,
saying is an option. I'm
yeah, right.
creating more options. I'm nowhere saying you should do this way or you should do that way. Uh, then the whole point is lost. If I
Yes.
have um, if I've come across as giving a prescription, oh, then I've miserably failed. Sorry,
It's
it
about
looks like I'm the failure in the examination.
no,
Right.
to rephrase it, the one that is strongly imprinted in my mind is the first slide of the first session, that we can only make a child person think. That's all. So in every shoulds and whatever you can replace it, that I will make the child think. That's all. Yeah.
Thank
Like
you.
be it
You've
collecting of
redeemed
thoughts.
me. You have redeemed me. Thank you very much. But that's very, very important. I don't want
Yeah,
any
that's all I
shoots to
have.
happen at all. I hope I think I need to do a little relook at how am I coming across. I don't want to make anything into shoots. Yes. So my question to that extent question is, are we thinking of these questions in a different way? Are we feeling about these questions in a different way? Not just this question. I gave many examples. It could be any example. Are we thinking of them in a different way, or are we thinking them of as any other question? Why does milk boil? How does baby come? Are they different? Are they same? It's like who made this ice cream and who made the baby in your tummy? Are they same questions or different questions? My question is to everybody, obviously, though I picked on Sujaya.
Yeah, same questions.
Because if you're going to say same, like how you are saying, and Nandita has also put in the chat window, then in a way you are saying that there's no need to bother about the extent, because I'm sure you don't bother about the extent of discussion you will have on, say, boiling of milk or whatever other questions the child asks.
Neeta here. Maybe for me, the questions and I mean, the way I look at answering both the questions would be different. Maybe it's because of my belief system or something. I would think twice before I would answer a question about these two, just about why a milk, where does, I mean, what a milkman or whatever you say. Maybe because of my belief that I would take a second thought for talking, I mean, to answer such questions. I'm I'm just exploring that now.
Yeah. So I'll put that, yes. Maybe we need to start somewhere there. Maybe we need to start exploring. I like that word. We need to explore our beliefs. We don't need to change anything. We just need to explore. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Because it's funny, they are for us qualitatively different, and we are worrying about the quantity. We're saying to what extent. But if they are qualitatively same, then the quantity doesn't matter.
Are they qualitatively same? I mean, it's
I'm
just a
asking you,
question.
if they are qualitatively same for you, then the quantities does not matter, as in how much the child wants to explore it or to what extent and so on. If they are qualitatively different for you, then the quantities also will start making a difference. I'm just making this comment, that's all. This relationship between because the concern came from quantity. It said to what extent we answer, which is to me a quantitative aspect to it. So the response, my response is depends on what quality you give to it. If they're qualitatively the same as, let's say, about milk boiling or aeroplane flying or whatever, then how does it matter?
For me, I don't really think. I think it's a pretty open subject for me, and I don't know. I would just take it in a straightforward manner as what I think. Just as we were talking, how an aeroplane works, this works. This is also actually this is more important than that. I think we can survive without knowing with how an aeroplane works. But this would be a more
You have made such an important point, Sangeeta, because I'm really surprised that so many people, and I'm not talking about this group, I'm generalizing it to the whole multitude, that so many people want to dodge these questions. As I think Preeti also wrote, the other members in the family do not want to answer these questions, do not want to even discuss these questions or encourage these questions. So we want to avoid these questions, but this is so important. This is so important, and avoid it. And what is not important, as in how does it matter whether I know why an aeroplane flies or how an aeroplane flies? How does it, who cares? But this is so important, precisely. Which is why I like this thought that let's start with the beliefs. In fact, if you look at this little set of windows, if you consider top left to be the first window, I would always start with my beliefs. Hey, what are my beliefs and what are they doing to me? Are they tying me to a stump and saying I am only going to go around in this much area? Or can I knock that off and be free to roam around, to explore, as you just now said? Okay, how do you want to go next? You want to change the slide now, go to some other question and see if we want to come back to this later? Or you want to continue a little more discussion on this? Yeah.
Yeah, we can move to the next question, I think, Ratnesh,
Okay.
if everybody is okay.
Wait, I'm just editing the text. This was one of the questions. Let me pick up another how question that was there. I'm putting 2-3 similar questions. Similar only because of the language. I don't know if they are similar to you, but I'm putting. So we had the curiosity questions first, and now I'm putting the so-called how questions. How do I? Right. So I put a couple of them. I hope you can see those. Think about those while I see if there are more how questions in my list. And okay, wait, sorry. I don't think this is a how question. So obviously I'm categorizing based on how I'm seeing the question, which could be very different from how you look. So you can always challenge my thinking. Okay. Right, I've got a whole lot of questions out there. Can you guys read it? Is it too much?
It's fine, readable.
Yeah, I'm compiling it from different people's questions. But since all of them are starting with how, so that's the keyword that I've picked up.
I think the last question, how do we make sure boys treat girls with respect and make them understand?
Mm-hmm.
I think your answer is inside your house itself. I mean, I'm sure the way they will see your, I mean, kid's father treating her mother, they will learn to respect the girl. I think discrimination, if it exists around, they will learn the discrimination. But if it doesn't exist, I'm sure they will not learn that.
But is that
So,
enough, Vishruti? Is that enough? What about everything else? Other places, schools, media, advertisements, um, whatever. Why isn't girls football as popular as boys football? Till few years back, why wouldn't the Wimbledon girls winner get the same amount of money as the men's Wimbledon winner? Only very recently, I'm not exactly remembering how many years back, it has been made same after a lot of
it is
clamor.
not recently, means it could be yesterday also. It is still there. The discrimination part between the two genders is still there. It exists. I'm not denying. But I'm saying that I feel to a lot of extent, a girl also plays a very major role to put herself down.
Interesting. Okay.
So
So let's start with that. Okay. So one is from how you are saying how, let's say, adults are treated, adult females are treated. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, exactly.
Treated at home.
And even
Okay.
adult females, yeah, by the men and by themselves also.
Sure.
So
So I'll
I
take that
see a
as a
lot of girls
separate point.
around being,
I'll take that as a separate point. How girls respond to being treated. Is that what you're saying? Is that your second point? Have I understood it correctly?
no, I don't think that they respond to being treated.
Okay,
I
sorry.
think
Yeah.
their belief system itself says that, you know, uh, maybe the way I'm treated is just not important. Their being itself has always created question for themselves. Their being is always for the others. So I think it has to do a lot with that. Not the discrimination doesn't happen from the male side only. It happens from the female side. The female accepting that yes, I'm below you is a problem. Somebody will come and tell that you're below me, but then if I accept it, it's a problem. If I don't, then there is a journey which starts. But most of the female around, they accept it, and it's their
Okay,
problems.
wait. So we seem to be debating or rather discussing the point, but the that's not the question. The question is, how do we do this with the children? Whatever is your point. So if you're saying that females accepting is the problem, which is fair enough, that's your point. But how do we bring that about with kids? That's the question. Am I getting across?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm right now not putting this down, I'm removing it because to me this is not a response to the question. This is your thought about the problem, which is fair enough. I'm asking now, how do we connect this with the children? So you are accepting there is some kind of problem, there is some discrimination. So in that sense, the question is important. Now, what do we do about it? Or rather, the question is, how do we make sure? So I think that's a very strong question. How do we make sure? Somebody wants it to be made sure. So how do you make sure?
I think it starts from childhood that the Barbies are not for the boys, and
Wait.
the
Again, that's
girls
your
are.
thought. How do we do it? How do you want to do it with the kids? Tell us a
So
how, as in
now,
what should I do? Say, Ratnesh, do this with the children. That's like that.
so
Or do
Ratnesh,
this.
allow.
Okay, by Ratnesh, I didn't mean Ratnesh only, everybody. But good, you can put it on to me. Absolutely. Put the gun on my nose. Go ahead, go
So
ahead.
I think so. We need to we need to give Barbies to the boys who are playing with them. We need to let them like the pink color. We need to uh, you know allow our girl childs to wear whatever she wants. And I mean, if a boy is crying, we need to stop telling him that, are you a girl that you are crying? I mean, anybody can cry on this earth. Even he is a human being. So I think our behavior towards lot of this kind of small things creates an image of a man and a woman in their image, where they start discriminating that, just because I'm a man I can't cry, just because I'm a man I can't like pink color, just because I'm a man. So then they start discriminating, even the girls. I mean, you have to start liking the kitchen, and just because you're this old, thoda to aana chahiye, or what will your in-laws will tell me that I haven't taught you anything. The mother's treating a girl like this. There are a lot of hidden things which keeps happening, particularly in India, with the male and the female. And this really this creates that hierarchy in their own mind, that just because I'm a female, I have to focus on certain things only. I cannot focus on my career and put my family aside. I think the list is really long, but I personally feel that the
Right, the
small
list
small
is long. So what's our approach?
to treat
So,
them as.
okay. So one is I concluded your thought as change our discriminative behavior, treat them
Yeah.
as equal. Okay. Uh, is that enough? That's still my question, which is where I'm saying, yes, we can do these kind of things at home. But I'm only asking on behalf of whoever asked this question, is that enough? Isn't there so much still? So we may change our discriminative behavior. I may be accepting. Um, okay, Sangeeta says stereotyping should stop. Okay, so again, I can stop stereotyping. What about everybody else? I can't stop the media. I can't stop the advertisements. I can't stop the teachers. I can't stop the neighbors. Right? So which is fine. I'm not saying we shouldn't do this. We should play equal. Right? That is what you are saying, which is fine. This is your way of looking at it. I should play equal. Apart from that, what else? So maybe you can say it has to begin with me. If I'm only discriminative, then why should I even worry about the world, right?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
thought.
and
Okay,
Yeah, please
yeah.
continue.
Go ahead, one
I
by
was
one. It's your
no,
exam.
I was just
Yeah, go ahead. Then-
okay. I was just saying that if we start from our end, I'm sure if this kind of atmosphere is at home, uh, the, mostly the child will not fall into the trap of discrimination.
no, that's just a generalization. I'm not so sure if that is enough.
Or maybe at least he will keep questioning himself, or even though
Again, not
the
necessary. Not necessary. No, not necessary. So it's good. It's a good environment that we at least our home we should keep clean, but that doesn't make the world clean, right? Yes, our homes should be clean. Got it. Period. Now let's not say that okay, that will ensure that no. We want to ensure, dear. We're not just saying it's enough. We're saying it's not enough. At least I'm saying it's not enough. I don't know if others agree with me or not.
Yeah, I have a thought.
Okay, meanwhile,
Yeah, we can.
just let me respond to Swati. She wanted to share an ad. Do you have that ad with you, Swati? If you want to share an ad, you have a video or something, or you paste the link and I can play it for everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
Ratnesh,
go ahead.
I'll paste the link here and then probably you can play that.
Maybe I'll
It's
download it during the break and then put it up. Is that okay with
yeah,
you?
it's something that Vishruti was just talking about, and
Sure,
I
sure,
think it's
sure.
a very impactful ad. So I it relates to the topic. So
Okay, does it tell us how we can look at this aspect?
yeah, one side of it. I mean,
Okay,
basically,
okay, fair
it
enough, fair enough.
talks about empowering. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So do give me that. I'll do that in
Okay.
the break time. Yes, Sujaya.
Yeah, my thought was, yeah, we can keep our home clean, but we cannot ensure that the world is clean and that our kids are not affected by what they see from the other sources like media or shopping malls or whatever it is. But yeah, we can take it up as a subject by itself. See, for them, they have the everyday life as an example. That is just one example to them. Maybe we can keep talking about it. Say if it's a girl or if it's a boy, whatever it is. Yeah, we'll just start with one of things like the household activities. What does a child think about it? Who should be doing, or maybe this is just a simple silly aspect, but whatever it is, we can start taking each of it as a subject. Say crying or showing emotions.
When you say
So
subject, you mean let's have discussions. Is that what you mean?
yeah, discussions and no, yeah, yeah, right. Because a child by itself does not have any does not have any biased decisions. A
Okay.
child can come to a biased opinion only by the influence of uh, say first is home and then the world. Let's say that is how we put it, internal and external, whatever it is, home and world. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the home, we will make sure the home is perfect place, mom and dad are equally doing everything and all, but we cannot make sure the world is a perfect place. So we, what we wish is our child should not be negatively impacted by the world. So obviously we cannot outrightly say that this is how our home is working, and hence these are the thoughts that you should imbibe from our home, and you should not imbibe the thoughts from the world and all. So we will make the child think like, what are your thoughts on, say, a simple like cooking, or be it whatever household things or whatever, and get their thoughts. Yeah, because I believe the child is not biased. That is my starting thought. Yeah, so we can continue how much ever we want on this.
Or maybe it's the opposite, isn't it? We are always biased.
We or the child?
We meaning everybody in this world.
No, but as a child, say a child is not biased. Inherently, you're not biased. I mean, even we, only if you are influenced by outsiders' thoughts or external thoughts, you are biased. Internally, like it's the same. Like you break your beliefs, you are not biased. You break your uh, limitations, you are not biased. That I can do only this, or I can do only that, right?
Yeah,
So
which
it's
is
all
another way
boil.
of saying we are always biased because we can never be totally free of influences because we can never be
Yeah,
totally
yeah, right.
free of all beliefs.
Yeah, it's the same, right? Are you vulnerable or not? You have influences, but are you being influenced or not? So if you are not being influenced, I see, say I'm not, I'm
Okay,
same,
wait,
I'm
wait.
not
Why?
influenced
Wait,
by
wait, wait,
any
wait, 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 wait. I'm
negativity.
not
Uh,
countering you. I'm actually
uh, uh,
supporting you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saying because we are
Yeah,
all the
no,
time
what, yeah,
biased. Wait, wait, listen.
yeah, yeah, right, right. Yeah, I am.
Okay, I'm just putting it the other way around, saying because we are all the time biased, we meaning everybody, it is important to have discussions. It's important to think more so that we can play around with our biases,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But I want you to
No,
realize
like
that
one
at
thought that
any
I
point of
want,
time,
yeah,
we
right.
are always biased.
Hmm.
You can never be not biased. Maybe when we are dead,
Yeah,
we be unbiased, but we are all the time biased. Even a little
yeah,
child is
okay.
biased. Biased by so many, biased by whatever experience a 2 year old has had till now, biased by his
Yes,
or her
exactly. Yeah,
feelings, biased by what others are doing to him or her. So even a 2 year
yeah,
old is biased. To say that 2 year old is pure, I think is an incorrect statement. It's unnecessarily trying to make the 2 year old to glorify a 2 year old. Why do we need to glorify anything when we know we are all biased? The idea is not that being biased is wrong. The idea is that when we since we know we are biased, since we know we have limited perspectives, let's think more, let's discuss more, let's open more windows, let's enjoy the journey.
yeah. But I just have one thought. Maybe it is out of the subject now. When you say 2 year old is pure, I agree that children are pure. They do not
No,
have that
I don't
anger.
agree on that.
They are not born with anger. They
No,
learn
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
but that was on day one, but no more. After that, I don't think
Okay.
they are terribly biased. Why not? I
Yeah.
don't believe
Okay.
in
They
all.
learn from their surrounding. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Absolutely, their surrounding. They are
Yeah. That is true.
completely biased.
So
They're not pure. I don't agree with this holier than anything approach. I'm, I'm,
yeah. Yeah. Right.
I'm
So the
just
point is,
yeah. The
how much
reason I'm
time you
blasting.
take.
Wait, wait. The reason I'm blasting that this whole approach is to exactly make your point even more important. That invite them for more experiences, more explorations, more experiments, more thinking, more discussions. Exactly for this reason. So we shouldn't think that they are pure or anything. So nothing is required to be done. That's why I'm blasting. I'm emphasizing on your point. So
Yeah. Right.
I'm
That's
with
true.
you, totally with you. I'm not countering you in any which way. Though it may look like that I'm countering you, but I love your point. Thank you.
No, but it makes me rethink, right? That I become more interested in the discussion. Thanks for that.
Ratnesh, Swati here.
Yes, Fatih.
So, I mean, for the, I think the point that how do we make sure boys treat girls with respect and about that point, um, my take on that is like, I think we should let more opportunities where both the genders are together playing or probably asking questions together or something like that. The reason being, I see a change in my boy now. He's 6.5, and when he's with other boys, they all say that we will not play with girls, we'll not invite girls to our birthday party, and so he is kind of getting influenced by those thoughts. And but otherwise, if when he's alone and like we have a neighbor who is a girl and who is his friend, so he plays very nicely with her or other friends children that we meet, and so he's very happy playing with girls. So only in the company of other friends who are boys, that influence is happening. Offhand he is fine,
So
so
wait,
I feel that
if you're saying that when with boys he's not wanting girls, but when one on one he doesn't mind it, then why are you saying we need to
yeah,
expose them to more genders? Then we shouldn't bother
so
about it
that
at
he
all.
gets. No, actually, that way, what I feel is, see, it's not that he doesn't want to play with girls or anything right now, right? I mean, he's comfortable playing with them and all. So, what I thought was to, if opportunities are coming where he is getting to play with the other gender, then he should be I mean, I should probably create more opportunities of that, and
Why would
so
you
that he
want to
gets,
do that?
yeah, so that he gets a perspective of both the genders. You know, he
But
understands both the
anyways, he would
genders.
see other, he would interact with other genders, no?
Yeah, if he is, I mean, if he is interested, obviously, if he is
Yeah,
not
let's say he's
interested,
not
then I
interested.
wouldn't want to.
Let's say your son turns and says, "Don't even make me whatever look at a girl. Forget play with her." Then what would you do?
Okay, so I mean, obviously, force and all will never work. So
Mm.
basically, exploration, like why he doesn't want to play with them, and suppose if he gives reasons for which he is satisfied, I will be okay with it,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm sure biological changes will kind of bring back a interest in the opposite gender in future. That will
Mm-hmm.
definitely happen. It's not that probably
Sure,
most
sure. He will
boys or
chase that.
girls.
Don't worry about it. Yes. So what do we
Yeah,
do
so
now?
I will not worry too much about it, but I will not stop opportunities from where he's getting to understand the opposite gender. I'll try to create them more and more and see if he can kind of understand the other gender. If say suppose at 8 years he's
So
saying that I don't want
wait,
to
wait,
talk
wait,
to
wait. For me to understand other gender, I need to be playing with the other gender.
at this age, that is the best way, right? Because at this age
Oh, there is a
they
best
are
way.
very interested in playing, so better play with that other gender, even if say the girl is playing with utensils or vessels, ghar whatever. So let the boys also play that, so that they understand, they kind of just become a family for say half an hour, and then he is helping her and all that. I think these are some life lessons that play at that age is teaching them, right? So that is my take on that.
Sure. Okay.
I think it's an easiest way of basically making the understanding the other gender, basically for both sides. So even for girls, like I see that suppose they want to play cricket, I see girls are also interested in playing cricket. So as a parent, probably we should just encourage, you know, whatever instincts children are having at that time. They already know, that is what we discussed in previous sessions also, right? Children already know that, and we probably need to know it, that they know, and encourage that.
Okay. Um, I just want the group to come back. We seem to be little, which is nice, which is good, that we are jumping into any one question and taking that as an, let's call it as an example. But time and again, it helps if we can just zoom out and not get involved in the content of the question, but get involved in the context of the question. In this particular case, if you look at this set of questions, they're typically how. And the questions being asked is, how do I talk about, let's say, safe sex with children? Or how do I talk about bodily changes? Or how do I make them aware of the physical difference and so on? So the boy-girl thing or the discrimination was only one content. Uh, so maybe it's a good idea to zoom out and say, okay, this is a how. How do we look at these million how questions? How do I talk? How do I address this aspect? So what I'm suggesting is, and I'm putting back this slide, is that we take a break now, and let's come back with little zoomed out. Maybe you'll move away from your laptop or mobile phone, so you're a little zoomed out, and think in general. Can I think of how do I want to address the how questions? Now, these are not the child's questions. These are parent or adult question. How do I, whatever, explain about X to the child or communicate X to the child or make him realize or so on and so forth. Yeah.
Ratnesh,
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I just want to say that the behavioral part, what we are actually discussing and talking about, is just one side of it. But the major side, which is actually about, you know, the sex, and I think we haven't touched that at all. And I still don't know the answer, that, you know, how to address those. For this was a very essential question, that safe sex, but then how do you explain, how do, and you can't just let them go out in the world and explore their answers in this case. So how, I don't know, at least this is what I think, that you can't let them do that. So how do you address those questions so that the right age and whatever beliefs we have about it, we can change our beliefs, but then we also need to have a direction to change our belief. We actually, I am clueless. I really don't know that how do I even reconsider my beliefs and how do I even open up about it, because I think the way sex has been treated in the television or even in the newspapers, I mean, where do you actually see a positive side of it? Where do you actually see something called safe sex? I don't know. I doubt. So I'm still there where I was when the session started. Not
Okay.
even the tiniest thing has changed. I don't know.
Okay. So maybe the group can help. Let's say help. Use the word help, Vishruti, in this. After the break, is that good enough? Let's start with this little thought as to, yeah, I mean, how do I do this? How do I even look at my beliefs to start with, which is what this slide says. And she's especially talking about, let's say, as an example, this first question. I'm just going to highlight it. Yeah, shall we take a little break? How long a break you want? If you think this is a good time for a break, if you think you want to carry on with Vishruti's question, we can do that also. I'm okay both ways. Okay, Preeti is saying 5, Sangeeta is saying 0, 10. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. 5 might be just too less. So let's take a 10-minute break and come back. Meanwhile, I'll line up the video also. Is that okay? We are at 9:33, so we'll be back at 9:44. Vishruti's question. She's saying, yeah, how do we talk about, let's say, safe sex with children and these kind of things? She's saying she's clueless. Thank you, Sangeeta. I started the recording. So tell me, how do we talk about, for that matter, anything?
So I think first we need to identify on why we are trying to talk about all of these things. So understand our beliefs about these things and the need to talk about these things. I don't know. Maybe as a group we can brainstorm on why we are trying to talk about these things.
Yes, why not?
I don't know. I need some ideas from someone on why are we trying to talk about these things actually.
Did I miss anything? I'm sorry, I just joined.
Vishnuti, I don't know. We just, I know. What I was just suggesting is maybe as a group we can first think and list out about why we are the reason behind why we are wanting to talk about these things. Yeah, I'm not saying we should not talk. Obviously, I'm just trying to brainstorm on why we need to talk, so that then we can go ahead with that points on how. So a little zooming out would. My first question was, why are we trying to talk about these things? What are we trying to instill or change or do to the child when we talk about these things?
For awareness, these things you mean the generic for the entire all the questions, right? All the questions listed in this slide, or is it just one question?
Yeah, all of them. Whatever in the slide, I think all of them.
Yeah,
Why are
especially,
Just for
especially why, what is the need to talk about safe sex with children? I'm saying just to use one for discussion. I guess
yeah.
the question is for everything and many other how topics, but uh, yeah, go ahead. So one response is for awareness. Awareness, whose awareness? Sorry.
Uh, Again, going back to it actually, why should we know why? I mean, if the questions are from the child, we should not know why the child curious or the child is curious. That's all.
Your voice is breaking. I'm sorry, your voice is breaking. But from what I hear, these are not questions from the child, right? These are all our questions, parents' questions, adults' questions.
I don't know. I personally feel that I don't know about the South scenario, but the North right now, the situation is that, the boarding schools and everywhere, the child is being abused heavily. And the problem is that this kind of topics have never been discussed. I mean, I don't know about everybody's scenario, but we still don't talk about such things except my husband. Like, I don't talk about this kind of stuff. And if you start talking about it, people will, oh my God, how can you talk like this? So, you right away stop talking about it. So I, I question so many things even to my husband that, there are so many things even I don't know. I really don't know what goes when the child is being abused and what is the difference between an abuse and molestation and the next step should be rape. I don't know because it has never been discussed. We what we hear and we see, that's all becomes our knowledge. And I'm sure that that should not be it. And the problem, Sangeeta, what I feel to talk about and to address this question is because as it is least talked about, and as we have this typical taboo talking about sex, uh, even the child is being abused. Every parent will hide that thing rather than talking about it more, and just and and there are so many cases. I recently signed a petition which say that it stays with the person for the rest of their life, this kind of experiences whatever they go through. And I'm not trying to change the world, but at least I want my child to know certain things, and just be aware that this kind of stuff or this kind of actions should not be aware. But to make him aware, first I need to know what it takes. And somehow, just because even I am so conservative about talking about it, or maybe I maybe not so open, I really don't know what my beliefs are and which direction it is. But then we just don't talk about it. I mean, I just want to point out one thing. When we were asked the first question about how the baby is produced, nobody talked about how actually it was produced. We all talked about okay, it is because you were the gift of prayers or whatever, we wanted a child. But there was no answer to how it was produced. How? That question, that answer was never addressed at all. The process is not addressed. It was in the mamastami. Everybody knows. Okay, is that a process? How the child came into this world? The doctor helped. Okay, agreed. But is that a process? And I'm not saying that we need to answer the question. I'm not suggesting anything. I just want to help myself after discussing all these things in this session, so that I get some idea that how what is the best way that I can help my child to just be aware of certain things. Because I'm
Vishruti, I mean, if you allow me, so I just want to make a point here. point here. So basically, when babies are like 2 years old, or say these questions, when they come, typically they are 4-year-old or 5-year-old. Uh, I think the answer that we give them at that time, that they were a gift of God, or I had a dream and God asked me to pick a baby, I picked you. See, they are satisfied with that answer at that minute, right? So I mean, what I mean to say is, as the child's awareness changes, our answers have to change accordingly. Is what is I believe in. So if my child is satisfied with the answer that he was a gift from the God at age 5, and we are happy with that, right? Probably when he's a little, but what I want to emphasize is that the channel of communication should probably be open, so that he comes back to me probably with a short or a little bit more technical details, say at age 7 or 8, because at 7 or 8 he will not believe that it's just a gift of God, right? Second thing is, the more we talk about these things, we start
Your voice
in
is
an innocent way, probably talk about just body parts and how they are different and all that. Or is it still bad?
yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So what I mean to say is, I'll answer has to change with their age, and so the more we start talking about these things and keeping the channel of communication open is when we become more comfortable talking about it. So basically, I had a conversation about good touch and bad touch with my boy when he was like, say, 4 years old. Okay, so we both just discussed what are private parts, what are public parts. So, and then I asked him, and then should anyone touch or should anyone see? And so initially it was a little difficult for me, but then the more I started like talking about it or showing him a video about it, is when I became more comfortable. And somehow I now feel that when the technical questions are going to come, I'm a little bit more prepared maybe. So you can change your your inhibitions that way. At age 2, at age 3, 4, I think there's nothing wrong in saying it's just a gift of God, or you had a dream or something like that. It's just my take on that.
I'll tell you a problem. One possible problem. One possible problem could be that the child may turn around and say, my mother knows nothing, or my father knows nothing. She knows all the wrong things.
And Ratnesh, one more possibility is that, as they grow, they they start finding their own answers on their own, or maybe in the classroom itself, because that's the place they actually talk about all this. So maybe he won't come to a parent ever and ask us a question. He will figure out all these things because
Possible.
this kind of discussion has never happened in the house. So he's well aware that this kind of stuff doesn't happen at home. So my parents are not so comfortable. That is why. So then you start figuring out other options, and that's where my fear lies.
Wait. But this, so if you're saying that, then let's go back to a point that was made, and I think that was an important point, which was, I don't know who made it, I'm not remembering that. That doesn't matter. It said, let's take up many aspects as discussions, which are like subjects, and make the child think. It's there on the slide itself. Right. So I think that, because you're saying that you're totally lost, but I think this is a huge point, isn't it? Okay, let me give it its importance.
Yeah, Ratnesh, I agree. Actually, this is where I think indirectly the media would be able to help us. Actually, done this a little with my child too, where something that we don't like has happened, especially the fourth and the fifth question, and they portray it on media without giving any of my reactions and without giving any of my views. I just ask my child, see, this has happened. So what do you think about it? So I think, or rather, take up some kind of a situation and, allow the child to express his feelings about it or express his thoughts about it. But still, I don't know answer to 1, 2, 3. I don't know if there will be any scenario like that where I can make him express. That's something I have to think about.
Interesting that you say that. Um, so let's pick up the first question. This is very, very interesting. You're saying, will there be any situation? Yes. So the
Just
question, yeah, just 1 minute. I'm obviously picking on all of you. I'm like a nagging guy. No, wait.
understand.
Sorry.
I didn't. I didn't understand what Sangeeta said. That is why I just want to know what you because you said that she made a point, but I don't know what was the point you are talking about.
Okay, Sangeeta, you'll have to say that again.
Yeah, Vishruti, I just said that, especially for questions 4 and 5, where boys treat girls and then don't bully physically abuse, I'll use the media to where I can point out a situation and ask my child what he thinks about this.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
What are his feelings? What are his thoughts when such a thing has happened in the real world, in the world, right? So that's what I mentioned. Along with that, I mentioned that I don't know how 1, 2, 3 situations will come up, and that's what Ratnesh is trying to pick on me.
Okay.
So this is very, very interesting, and I have to sabotage this. Uh, Now she's making a statement. I don't know where will we talk about the safe sex with children. Where will an example come from? Where will a situation come
No. I'm thinking I have to think about where situations will come.
Yeah. So this is exactly. So let us, for a moment, uh, understand. So which is why I like this question. That what is the need? And I like the answer also, which Vishruti gave, that it is not discussed, it is taboo, it is parent. But how do we discuss? Can we make the child sit and say, let's discuss safe sex? Like, obviously not. And somebody that would be very funny. But let's look about, are there no examples or are there examples every day? Now, you may say, but no, there are no examples every day. I don't get any examples from media or things happening around. That's because we are looking at sex in a very, very narrow way. Where if you're looking at only the act or the intercourse, if I may use that word, then yes, obviously the child is not going to get that as an anecdote or as a story. But if you expand the whole meaning, if you expand the whole aspect of what is sex about, is it about an act or is it about the whole gamut of relationships we had, the whole gamut of understanding each other, right? Starting from there to how we interact with each other, to including your discrimination, including your physical abuse, even your physical play, everything. And if you start expanding, then you will say it starts happening on a daily basis. Can I start first talking about safety in general? Safety in every which way. Can I talk about safety in, let's say, play, safety in running around the ground, safety in, let's say, taking bath, safety in sleeping, safety in going to a mall, safety in my classroom, any kind of safety. So I start, to me, the important word in how do we talk about safe sex with children is not the sex part, it's the safe part. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. That's not important. The point is, it's there. Let's not think of it as one dot that we need to kind of rub it in. No. We have to create an environment of safeness or safety, if you want to. And it has to start with little things on a daily basis. When the child starts thinking about safety in so many different ways, including safety from strangers, including safety from anybody for that matter. How can you be safe from me? How can you be safe from mom, dad, uh, let's say teacher, let's say grandfather, grandmother, vehicles, fire, water, anything? Can safety be our discussion? Can safety be our agenda? As important, can we start with those discussion? And that's what I'm going to, and it will come to the child's mind because it's building up, it's collecting. Even if I don't, let us say, talk specifically about, let's say, sexual intercourse safety, right? Even if I don't talk about that, the idea of safety built over a period of time, to me, empowers the child to look at him or her being safe. What is safety? I don't know. I'll tell you a little story if that makes any sense. Um, there was there was a day when I was picking up my daughter from a school, and they were we were walking across the ground towards the gate. She was at that time around what, let's say 7, 8. I don't really remember the age. And she kept on kind of pulling me towards one side, towards the wall, and I kind of kept on pulling her back towards the middle of the, let's say, the pathway. And this was all non-verbal. And after some time I realized, what am I doing? Right? She's trying to make herself safe by pulling me towards the wall, thinking some buses might start coming, although the bus had little more time. And I, the logical me, knowing that the bus will come little later and that there's nothing coming, will keep on pulling her back into the center of the road. So what is the message I am giving to her? Don't be physically safe. Let me lead. I'm your dad. I know better. Oh, come on. I felt so stupid. I am telling her not to go by her sense of safety. I am saying that I know better than you, when actually the child knows better than me. Intuitively. Is a 1-year-old a safe child? Can a 1-year-old take care of her or his safety? 6-month-old, can they take care of their safety? Are they safe children? Have you seen them instinctively crying when they feel unsafe in somebody's arms, whom they do not feel safe with, and they're crying? And what's the message we say? Beta, it's auntie only, it's Anne, whatever, your chachi or your this or your that, and we force them, not everybody, I'm just saying we force them into others' arms. What's the message we are saying? Your instinctive thing is not okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to say that the whole concept of safe, that is the key word. And there are enough opportunities on a daily basis. So let's not think of these topic as any different, as different kind of safety as compared to, let's say, any other kind of safety. Can we not create an environment of discussion? I like this. Let's take up millions of aspects as discussions. Make the child think. Get collections to happen. Ask the child's thoughts. Let empowerment happen. Connect with their feelings. How do they respond to different situations? Vishuti, you're saying you're lost. I'm saying, where are you lost? To me, it's still the same thing. It's not anything new that I need to do, but a lot I need to do. Nothing really new. I can get the child to think. I can share my thoughts. I can get the child to feel. I can share my feelings. I can get the child to understand his or her images. I can share my images. I can help the child understand his beliefs. I can share my beliefs. I can get a child to reflect on what happened. I can reflect on what happened. I'm just talking about this slide. I'm not talking about anything different.
Right. And I just want to add one more thing, Ratnesh. Uh,
Go ahead.
A lot of time I've seen that when the child is specifically when young and he cannot say that I don't want to do it in that stage, a lot of people forcefully make them do certain things. I think that forcefully done things also should be considered as uh, to think about, at least what you said about the safety. It isn't it related somewhere uh, with their agreement of whether they want to do it or they don't want to do it, or they want to be in that situation or they don't want to be in that situation, or they want to do it in this way or they don't want to do it in this way.
Absolutely. So, so I want to even question this. Somebody said answer has to change with age. I say, really? I mean, answers to change with age? I mean, what you have a chart? 9 years, 33 days, I will say this, and 9 years, 34 days, I will say this. Oh, come on. How can answer has to change with age? In the sense, how can I have an answer for every age? Even at any age, two children are different. Now, even your two children, if you have two children, you will realize they're different at the same age. So can we really have to change with age? Or we have to change with, or rather, let me put it this way, we have to just have a discussion at that moment, in whichever way the child is discussing, in which case there is no answer. There's no need for my answer. It's only a discussion. Is it about when I become more comfortable? Or is it about whatever is required by the child at that moment? Whatever situations the child is, whatever the child is thinking, whatever the child is wanting, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are wanting. If between you and your child, whatever is both of you are encountering, whether comfortable or uncomfortable, that to me is the door for discussion. If I think the child cannot run on the road, now I cannot say I need to become comfortable with it. No, if or the child needs to become comfortable, no, I need to have a discussion about it, right? Because I can't let the child run on the road. In the same way, any topic which I feel that I need to discuss with the child, or the child feels that he needs to, or child thinks that he needs to discuss, and I think I need to discuss, anyone, isn't that good enough? In any case, I don't need to answer, because how will I answer? I can't say, wait, I need to be prepared. I need to read into some books and then come back to you. What do I need to be prepared for? Apart from discussions, and by discussion, I just don't mean verbal discussions. There can be so many more ways of discussion. What I'm trying to say is, I'm just saying, let's come back to this. Let's try to see, hey, am I able to open these windows? And for me to be able to open these windows, I just need to have a desire to open those windows. I need to have a value of these. I need to say I value collection. Automatically collection will happen. I need to say I value feelings. Automatically I'll respect the feelings. I need to say I need to value empowerment. Automatically I'll ask child's thinking. And so on. If I say I value habits of mind, I'll automatically get into reflection after something happens. So how do we talk about safe sex with children? Did I make any sense? In the same way, if I look at the second question, say, how do I teach her about bodily change? But body is changing every day, dear. Why is this adolescence suddenly given so much importance? Why can't we discuss about body every day? Today I have a cold, tomorrow I don't have a cold. Isn't the body changing? Why is nose different from penis or vagina? It is not. They're just three organs. Are they different? Oh, come on. It's in our mind. But they are the same. In the sense, they're just part of our bodies. Now, when we start thinking of our body on a daily basis, safety on a daily basis, uh, boy, girls, relationships, discrimination need not be just between boys and girls, discrimination of any kind for that matter, respect, and so on, discrimination by adults with children. Why haven't we discussed that? Bullying, abuse, anything. And it's not about age, it's about whatever the child wants to discuss and whatever you want to discuss is between you two, one to one. Or one to many. If you all the whole family can be included, great. I will tell you one incident had happened in Bangalore some years back, and there was a huge. It was an incident related to child abuse, and when child was abused in a school, and it the whole thing went on for many, um, you can say, weeks and months. Lots of protest marches and stuff like that. Now, interestingly, we used to do workshops on empowering child against abuse before that incident. In fact, we did one week before that incident, and you know how many people turned up for that workshop? 5. And then that incident happened, and it was in newspapers and TV and everywhere. Every parent was talking about it, and then fortunately or unfortunately, we scheduled some more workshops, and they were like jam packed. That was funny. It is as if only when things go bad outside, I will wake up and I will start doing, and then people want some quick fix solution. They're coming into the workshop saying, "What do I do today?" I said, "Hello. I cannot tell you what you do today. I can only tell you what you anyway can do every day. And you know that. I don't need to tell you." And you cannot just empower child against abuse. You have to empower child in toto, in every aspect. Can I just empower the child and say, okay, but when it comes to an abuse situation, you are very empowered. But in rest of the world, I will tell you what to do. I will tell you how many spoons of sugar to add in your milk. But in an abuse situation, you be strong enough to face the abuser because I will not be there. Can that work? Or can we, or do we need to look at empowerment in a complete way? Do we need to think about how do I make my child realize, use, and enjoy his capabilities? And all of these three are interconnected. Right? He will realize, or she will realize her capabilities only when she uses them. She will enjoy her capabilities only when she realizes and uses them, and so on. And she can use them only when she enjoys and realizes them. So these are all three nothing but the same thing. It has to be in action. Okay, so some of you have talked about good touch, bad touch, right? I don't know if anybody, no, not nobody talked about good touch. Did anybody talk about good touch, bad touch?
Yes, somebody talked about it.
Okay, have you talked to your child about good touch, bad touch? Have you talked to your child? Yes, no, maybe.
No. Ritesh, I'm again coming to the same question, and maybe you will not like to
Hmm.
answer that. Uh, you know what is the age? I mean,
What is the age? I told you, This 6-month-old is far more capable than a 6-year-old, isn't it? Tell me who's more vulnerable, a 6-month-old or a 6-year-old?
6-year-old.
Yeah. A 6-month-old will wail so much, will cry so much, everybody will run away and they will give your child back to you. You handle her, I can't handle her. But a 6-year-old, oh, she's already being conditioned in many different ways. So the world is more dangerous for a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old than a 1-year-old. How do you empower them? Oh, they are already so empowered. You just have to realize that they're empowered. I'll take a very simple example. Just today, I had gone to Bangalore for some work, so I was coming back, and there was a baby in a baby about maybe 2 years old, a child of 2 years old in sitting and in the seat in front of me in the train, and some whatever strangers came and they kind of talked to that family. Everybody laughed, and then this one lady pulled the cheeks of that child, and then they again laughed and all that, and then they went away. Now what do you think about that incident? And everybody, when they pulled the cheeks, everybody was very happy. Some even took out their mobile, took the photograph and all that. Now what do you think about it? Can I pull your cheeks, please? Please, please, please.
Yeah, I don't like that because it happened with my child also. When they're not strangers, they're just relatives. When they pull her cheeks only, my child is not comfortable, and I don't support them. I just say she doesn't like that, and I just say she doesn't like someone touching her. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I've told that many times, and then maybe now people forget about it. I don't know.
And what does the message to the child?
That she has her own likes and dislikes, and I am with her. She only brushes it off, and she moves herself towards me, and I because they don't understand why she went. Obviously, the adult cannot understand everything, so I just tell them she doesn't like. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, but what's the message to the child?
I think the message was that nobody can touch her without her consent.
No, that's not the
Her
message. Is the message that? No, she's saying she
no.
doesn't like it. So what's the
Yeah.
message?
So her opinion or whatever her likes or dislikes are respected.
But what's the message to the child? That mama will take care of you?
No. I didn't get her to me. She herself brushed the relative off and came to me. I didn't pull her towards me. I only
Then?
observed her what her expression was,
Okay.
and then she turns her face off. So I just keep observing.
Okay. And then?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, she turns her face off, and then the relative actually they don't get that she's turning her face off, and they repeatedly try to do the same thing. And she again does that, and she comes to me. So they don't know why she came to me. That is when I tell them that she doesn't like that. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I think in this case, a little better or no better. I mean, one more suggestion could be, okay, Sujaya could have allowed her daughter only to say that I don't like it.
She didn't have speech at that time. Like 1.5 years, 1 year,
Sure.
1 year. Yeah, even at 1 year, she didn't allow anyone to touch. Yeah, not allowing. She didn't like anyone touching her. That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, nobody.
Or pulling her cheeks.
Any,
Yeah, that's right.
Anybody likes the cheek being
No one. Yeah, no one. We should respect children. Yeah.
So I'm still there. What is the message to her?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a wrong message. Okay, am I coming across?
I'm thinking, what is
Yeah.
the message to her? What I'm
Yeah,
just thinking, yeah.
I want you to think, because that's interesting. What are we messaging to the child? What are we telling the child? Because often we do things to satisfy or take care of our emotions, our concerns, not necessarily always. Like the example I was giving about my daughter was moving towards the wall. Now, my response was according to my logic, but I was not. The message to her was, you don't listen to yourself. Now, I'm just pushing that point again and again, not to say that what you're doing is wrong. Not, don't take me like that. Just to see that important thing is whatever we are doing is giving a message to the child. Is the message an empowering one or a disempowering one? I think that is something we need to watch out about ourselves. If it's an empowering one, well, great. If it's a disempowering one, then we are making them more and more vulnerable. I'll give an example. So let's say we tell the child that if somebody, let's say, touches you, right? eh, eh, then you do this. I'm giving a very typical example of how empowering. This whole abuse training is talked about. Comfortable touch, uncomfortable touch, and so on. So many different things. So if situation X happens, do Y. Is that how some of the time it is done? I'm not saying everybody does like that. I'm saying some of us do like that, or some of us have been told to do like that. That you can train your child. If somebody else touches you, do X. Do whatever. Y. Shout or run away. I'm waiting for some response. Is that, or that's not how it is done?
Yes, I've seen such videos.
Okay. Now, I'm nothing against the videos per se. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of teaching in some videos. Yeah.
Okay. As I said, I have no issue with those videos per se, or the people and their intentions of what they want to do with the kids. But to me, telling a child when you have a situation, do X, to me, what's the message to the child. Beta, you don't think, do as I say. That to me is a very, what should I say, limiting way, because the situation is never the same. There are too many complications. There are too many ifs and buts in any situation. Are the solutions so simple? Can my child just apply them? Can he or she always apply them? Or is it to do with maybe the child is not feeling as we thought the child should be feeling? Or the child is not able to think the way we want the child to be able to think and respond? Now, what do we do? Can the training be about empowering the child to think about ways in which the child can do something in the situation, rather than me telling? So my message to the child, I'm saying, if the message to the child is do as I say or do as it has been told, then I'm not too sure if that's very empowering. But if the message is that you can act, you can decide, you can think, you are capable of doing many of these things, and see you are already doing it, and use your mind, use your body, use your feelings, use your thinking, use your capabilities, use your strength. I was doing a workshop on abuse with a group of children, and typically when I do workshop, I never tell them what they should do, but I give them lots of situations and they keep coming up with answers. So there's this very mixed age group of children. They were children right from 5, 6 to 14, 15. Yeah, there was a 15-year-old. Yeah, that range. And there were about 20 kids, and we were talking about different situations, and I was asking them, what would you do? What would you do? So we were coming to a situation where, you know, somebody is holding you or putting you in their lap, and they're kind of playing with you, but you are not feeling comfortable. And when you are telling them leave me and all, they are coming up with different temptations like chocolates and toffees and whatever, and I'll take you there, and don't worry, or your mama will scold you, and they're threatening or anything like that, different things that, let's call, abusers use. So I was talking about all of these, and there were different children coming up with different answers. And there was this one little child right at the back. She raised her hand, and I hadn't seen her speaking a lot. So I asked her, as she was a little younger, about 6 years old. So I said, okay, what would you do? So she said, Susu. I said, what? She said, Susu. And I said, oh my goodness. It took me some seconds to realize what is she trying to say. And then, just to be double sure, I asked her, is that what you mean? That you will do Susu? She said, yes. And I said, oh my goodness, I can never think like this. This is too good a thinking. Imagine if she is feeling uncomfortable by the way somebody is making her sit in her lap. The method that she chose was to do susu. And I think that's an amazing method because it will work 100%. What an amazing way to think. And that I thought only a child could think me. Now I can tell it as a solution now that the child has taught me. But isn't it amazing? What do you say? The whole thing about what am I doing? Am I giving child more power, or am I telling the child, no, 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 you have to do, I have the power, or somebody else knows better? In fact, within this grid, if empowerment is in the center, if you keep, I personally think if we keep making it stronger and stronger, then it takes care of all the other windows around it. It kind of grows with being fed from all the directions. What do you say? In fact, I go ahead and say, when I keep the title of my workshop is How to Empower Your Child Against Abuse. And people say, tell me how. I said, doesn't the topic itself tell you how? Think about it, how to empower your child against abuse. And the answer is there only in the question. Empower your child against abuse. As simple as that. You don't have to read the words how to, you know. And again, the abuse can be of any kind. Why only restrict it to sexual abuse? Why not media abuse? Why not physical abuse? Why not any abuse for that matter? So in a way, if you come back to these questions, sorry, how do we talk? How do we teach? Sorry, okay, let's take the first one. How do we talk about safe sex with children? Isn't the answer there itself? Talk about safe sex with children. Just forget the how do. Just talk. And as I said, you don't need to talk from your awareness. I thought somebody said, why is the need for awareness? Whose awareness? Child's awareness. So should the child's awareness be like my awareness? No. So where should the child awareness be? Wherever it is. Let's just talk about it. I don't need to increase his awareness. I want to bring his awareness into awareness, that he is aware. I want to talk about what is he aware of? Where is he aware of? When is he aware of? And so on. Exactly, it's taboo because it is not discussed. That's the whole point. Let's just discuss it. I like that aspect, Vishruti, when you said let's just discuss it. It's not discussed. I think that is the need. And not just the sex part is not discussed. Believe me, any empowerment is not discussed. You don't see people going around and saying, how do I empower my child? No. You see people saying, how do I fix my child? So it's not just limited to one topic. It's about all of these things. Let's discuss. Let's talk about it with other parents, with everybody. Okay, tell me one thing. And this is not just for Vishruti. With whom all will you discuss? Let's say this topic about abuse, right? With whom all will you discuss? Let me put up a new slide, even if you don't allow me. Yeah, that's my question. Surprise question. Tell me with whom all. Okay, let's start with whom all have you discussed till now?
My husband.
Husband. Okay, so I'll put it spouse. Okay, then
I have discussed with family and also with my child. So I tell her, if someone speaks to you this way, then you should consider this as abuse.
When you say family, who all is included in that?
Parents, in-laws, and my child.
Yeah, my siblings, sister-in-law,
Siblings.
my sister, my sister-in-law, friends.
Okay. Then who else? Anybody else? If anybody whom you have discussed with?
I think the friends and siblings also come from the same gender whenever we have discussed more or less.
Okay, wait, I'm just getting it. Siblings. Oh, you are saying the gender is the same. Okay, sorry, I got it in the second take.
I will only girls, the girls' friends.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes. So that I was about to ask that question. Have you discussed with all the husbands of your friends and all the wives of your friends? And sorry, by my side writing. Yes. Has this been this? So that's a very important point. Thank you, dear. Have you discussed with only same gender? All the spouses and the spouses of spouses of the friends and spouses of the siblings and so on. Friends meaning all. Who else? Have we discussed
Children
with? Yeah. Okay. Children.
Children and children of, general children, not just my child as such. child of my friends too. Friends' children
Okay.
also.
So I will say children's friend. Because is it children's friend or children of your friends?
Children of my friends, actually.
Okay. Have you discussed it with children's friends?
Not really. I
Okay.
don't have much of access to them. I don't know.
Come on, I don't agree with that.
I don't know. I've never. No,
No.
no, no,
Do,
not
do you
no,
say
no. I
hi
haven't
with?
yet.
Sorry?
No, no.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't. I haven't.
Yeah, I like that more. Not that I don't have access. You have access. Please. If it's important, we have access. Okay. There could be more in this list, but let's also try to make a list of who all can we or we would like to discuss. Is that fair enough? Can we make a list of who else would we like to discuss it with? Nobody talked about teacher. Has nobody talked about this with their child's teacher?
Ratnesh, I need to mention this. You will
Hmm.
not imagine. I was
Hmm.
in my 10th standard, 16-year-old,
Hmm.
and there is this topic in the biology which is of reproduction, okay?
Yes.
And
This was the most hilarious
you know,
class.
yeah, no, not hilarious, but every child is waiting for that
Yes.
particular lesson covered, and we all were eagerly waiting that we wanted to see how the teacher is responding to that lesson, particularly that chapter. And you will not imagine, she just turned those 3 pages, and she was like, "Okay, now read from the seventh page," and we all were and she was like, you all can read on your own those 3 pages. And
Yeah, no. It's
this is
very, very
how
common. No, it's very common. I completely am with you. I don't
anyway,
get to imagine this. It
can
is
you
there.
imagine Ratnesh, what must be going in the student's mind? I mean,
Yeah.
that was the first impression I got, that you can never ever talk about these things in front of people. You know, that was so
Mhm.
strong.
Okay, let's quickly make a list of whom all you think we would like to talk to. This box is still blank. Sorry, you have to fill it. Let's see whom all you think you can talk to, or you would
I
like to
think
talk to. Sorry,
male friends. I mean,
okay. Male. Okay, all gender friends. I'll put it like that.
all gender friends. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. More.
Like you said, with teachers as well, because even teachers would could talk to the children, something like that.
Yeah. You see, surprisingly, I've been working with children now for almost 19 years. So I must have worked with about 6 to 7,000 children. So that many parents. And believe me, not not even a single parent till date. Yeah, not even one. We're talking about not zero out of 6,000, let's say, has come and asked me, what about child abuse? Not even one. Including Radhe, whose children were there in Genie Kids, in ROE, who is there in the session. Not even one. Why? I mean, why are we not talking to them? We are going to put a child in a class, in a music class, in a karate class, whatever, what classes, and and what are we assuming? That the child is safe? Why are we not talking about it? And then we say media is responsible, this is responsible. Oh, come on. I need to do something about it. At least I can say one line. I can say, how have you taken care of child's sexual safety? And I can ask this question to everybody who my child comes in contact with. Why not? What am I going to lose? And think about what am I going to gain? Not just me. In that whole process, what all so many children might gain. So if you allow me, let's burst open this list. Let's add anybody and everybody. Why not? Lift guy, why not? If it's the same lift guy, have you spoken to him? Is the security guy in your apartment complex, have you spoken to him?
Ratnesh, Radha here.
Yeah.
If I come and ask you about it, is there a side of me, or will it appear to the person to whom I am asking that I have a doubt over them, or
let them have? Who cares? So what? Let them make any image about me as if.
So see, and honestly, at few places I don't have the doubt, so I don't ask it.
What do you mean by you don't have doubt, Radhe? Are you from CBI? You know everybody in and out. You can psychoanalyze everybody. Children are abused by their own grandparents, by their own relatives, close relatives. What are you talking about, Radhe? Whom do you doubt and whom do you don't doubt? How can you do that? What X-ray machine you have? Do you have a machine like they have at airports to know who is a terrorist and who is not?
Okay, understand.
See, the number of friends of mine who have talked to me about them being abused, 100% of them have told me that they were abused by a close relative.
Yes, I agree.
Even I agree.
And there is a study. If you don't want, if you want, I can send it to you, which was done at an all India level. It showed that 80% of the abuse is done by what is called as the primary circle, which means immediate family members, first immediate family members, then other family members, as in, mother's brother and father's mother and father's brother and all of those, and immediate friend circles. That's called the primary circle. Unlike the media, which tries to portray it is the the bus driver and the truck, the security guard and all. I'm not saying that they don't do it, but they have much less access to your children or any child than relatives. And please, we do not have a scanner. Unless you have one, please give it to me also. What will you lose, Radhe? What will you lose?
No. So when I'm thinking about this, one thing is, I'm getting one way, like, how about me actually telling my relative who is leaving their child in my house, so to open up and tell them they are sexually safe here. So that one statement, so will it open up that I can also start talking to them about it?
Whichever way. I am not here to tell you how you need to talk to people. You find your what, however way. But is it important? If it's important, please do it. But please realize that we cannot have a scanner to know who is safe. You kept your children with us, right? In Arohi, Radhe. How do you know I am safe? Tell me. How do you know? Just because I take these sessions? Oh, come on.
Actually, I'll have a kind of talk with my children. Like, it's something like, it's through my children. That's how I say. I don't do it from.
I don't disagree with that. That is a great way, right? But is it enough?
I get the point.
Is it enough? Can the child not be tempted? Can the child be not in conflict? Can the child be not even enjoying it, let's say?
I understand. Oh my God, I understand it, Ratnesh. I know
So,
it.
yes, I agree. To me, the greatest way to know is through the child. So, empowerment of the child is without any doubt. We haven't come to this slide without discussing about empowerment, right? There is no, you cannot be anywhere, everywhere with the child. So, you have to empower the child, and you cannot feed into the child one program of how to respond. The child has to think and think in advance. If somebody does this, if I am feeling uncomfortable, if I am not okay with something, what all can I do? I have to think. Not mama will tell me, not a video will tell me, but I have to think. Those can give me ideas. Okay, now that's chapter one. But is that enough? Is that enough to bring about a change in our circles? Is that enough to make our children feel safe? That's why I like Vishruti's question. It is not discussed, it's a taboo. Now, what are we doing by hiding it? We are only making it unsafe for our children.
Ratnesh, I have a question here in this
Yeah,
point actually.
yeah.
See, when you say, okay, let me go talk to some person who my son or daughter is in contact with. Let's take the example of a karate teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I'll go ask him how do you make I know you're gonna say the response is not important. I'm gonna ask him how are you ensuring that my child is sexually safe?
Uh-huh.
And he will say, yeah,
Don't worry,
I kind
madam.
of
We'll take care, madam.
yeah, don't worry, madam. I'll make sure the child is in my, he doesn't go out of my eyesight, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But what does that do? I mean, there's still the question of, yeah, you can be the person. I mean, the karate guy, the teacher itself can be the unsafe person or whatever. So I'm not
Can I
sure what would satisfy me. I don't know. I'm little confused here in this topic actually. I
can
agree
I
with
can I
you. I agree with you. You should talk to everybody. But what would that talking do? What if
Okay,
I talk to a
okay. You put a but at the end of it, which means the previous one is not important, something else is important. How about adding an and to it instead of a but? Say, okay, talking to a karate teacher may not be enough, and I would like to do this. So tell me what else you would like to do.
talking to a karate teacher might not be enough, and I would like to make sure that guy itself is not unsafe for my child. So
How?
no amount of assuring from his side would be satisfactory for me.
How?
So
How?
that's my point. How I don't know.
Right.
So
So
what
how
this
will you
question
ensure?
will do to me
No,
is
no.
what
Think
I'm
of a
asking.
way. Think of a way. Think of a way. There are many ways. Let's come to that. I think more people wanted to add to your thoughts. So let me just first invite others who wanted to say something.
I just wanted to say something here. I think the moment we ask this question to somebody that what about my child's sexual safety, that person first of all gets aware that this parent is well aware of this entire thing, which
Bingo.
generally doesn't happen. Which generally doesn't happen. Okay, and
Don't
the
generally.
second
It
most
doesn't happen at all.
yeah,
Nobody
it doesn't
asks.
happen. Yeah, no, but I agree. And you know what happens, what you said is so correct that it happens by the nearest people. And that is why even when the parents get to know about it, that my child is being sexually abused by you know, the chacha itself who is staying in the same house, the parents choose not to talk about it because it comes on the family or the
Okay,
circle or the friend.
wait. Can I pause you? No, no, that's a little distracting. So I will come back to this point that
Okay.
parents hiding it because of other social pressures and stuff like that. But right now we are still
No,
at,
but
yeah.
I
Sorry.
was just saying that thing doesn't get applied here because as you've already asked the question, this guy cannot take that for granted that, no matter whatever I'll do with the child,
Yeah.
they will,
So I
keep.
think your point is very important, and I think that's uh, worth enough for me to just say it or ask it, or say it in any which way. At least I've made that guy sensitized that I am very, very sensitive.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not saying it is enough, but I'm saying it's
Yeah.
one very important step. And how you ask, you can be creative about it. You can think of many different ways of asking. You don't have to rub the person the wrong way. And you don't just have to, you can, if you know that I'm getting a canned answer of, don't worry, madam, then I'm not asking it the right way. Ask him three things that you have taken to ensure blah, blah, blah. Or can you assure me these five things? Or can we, why not? What worse he will say, madam, ab jao, find another class. I'll find another class.
Ratnesh, Ponlata here.
Yes, Pon.
I have two things to talk about. One about me sending children to Arohi without
Yeah.
even asking you about these things. Mm, yes, so I got the point. The other thing was what I did. I spoke to both of my children, and
Hmm.
I generally over topic around safety. And I
Mhm.
told it's an open campus. You have to take care of yourself. So tell me ways. So it spoke about situations, say as simple as somebody
Sure.
pushing
Sorry,
and
Pon,
no,
can I
you're
can
not
I
okay.
pause? Can I pause you? So we have already discussed this part, the empowerment part, the
Yes,
asking
yes,
part, right? So
yes.
that
When I
we
spoke about this, when
yeah.
I gave them this topic also about sexual abuse,
Hmm.
say about uncomfortable touches or actions by
Hmm.
anyone.
Hmm.
So I gave them a local contact person, and then that is where I stopped it. Now I
Sure.
got the point that you said talking about you, to
Yeah.
you too.
If you would have come
For
in
a
my
reason,
way, I would have garlanded
yes,
you.
yes. For a particular reason, I stopped doing it for many years, which I was doing before. Say
Oh.
when my first child was about, yeah, I was doing this, asking people about
Hmm.
my child's sexual safety till
Hmm.
about my first child was about say 4-year-old. I used to do this. Say I'm I have a big friend circle, so when I'm fine with sending my child to anybody's house for a play date or a sleep over or whatever. So we do that very often, and
Hmm.
to many I used to ask. There was this particular family whom I didn't know the extended family really well, but I knew the couple well. I was not very comfortable, so I asked this, and this family knows that I have this background of being abused and almost raped many times in my life. So they gave me a big piece of advice back that I am being unnecessarily cautious, and I have this extra fitting antenna, and I should lower that. And being this, doubtful about every single person around, it's not good for you. So all these things were told to me. So from then I was like, am I really being like that? So this question started popping in me. So these are the thoughts that are currently going on
Sure.
when
Sure.
you're talking about this.
Thanks. Um, my thought is totally with you. That is why I'm inviting us to be little more. I'm just using the word for sake of better word, creative in being how we connect, how we connect with this topic. We don't have to challenge their whatever sanctity or whatever. We don't have to challenge their uh, character, but we can. So I tell people, you have parties, you call people for discussion, send emails, send articles, send videos to all your friends. It's the same thing with with teachers, with give him a poster, gift him a poster, Sangeeta. Why not? I mean, will that person feel bad? I don't know, but that's just a poster. Say you can put this up in school. It's a how to ensure child is sexual safe. Print up a poster from internet and distribute it among all the classes that your child goes to. Say, I'll request them to put it up. Take some tape and put it up. Now, in this way, we are neither telling them that you do anything wrong, we are just saying you are making your school more safer, but we are sensitizing everybody, including all the other parents and children also. So we can be creative, guys. We can actually look at a larger band. We can see how I can help my friends' children also in the same way because I am discussing with them. So that we can empower them also. Why are we thinking of them as predators? No, we can empower our friends and relatives so that they empower their children. we can drive a positive drive so that everybody does this. So that while on one side we make our children stronger, on the other side we make our house cleaner, as in the society more cleaner. So we can do it, and I'm sure I don't need to talk too much about it. I know we can do it. We can do it when we go and talk about it in many different ways.
Ratnesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, through this discussion, now I'm getting that maybe I wasn't creative enough in putting it out to everyone. So maybe that could have made the whole situation better or different. That
And
I'm getting now. Okay,
and
beginning to
Purnata,
think about it. The
Purnata,
other thing,
yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
sorry, the other thing that I wanted to put out here for everyone
please.
and to you is that we should also be talking about what if something happens to the child?
Yes, I was
What
just
the child
coming,
should do.
was
Yes.
exactly coming to
Okay.
that.
Thank you. Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. So before I go into that, just one acknowledgement. So since you shared, and many of us have gone through, uh, you know, abusive experiences in our childhood, it should motivate us even more. So and motivate us to be creative more in this way. Not just looking at the world as good or bad, but or people as good or bad, but in fact, I don't think there are good or bad people in that sense. Meaning there are people doing
Yes.
horrendous things. But if you feed that into the child, then one dadi wala will look one very villainish person. Because the movies show it that way.
True, true.
So the child may not go to a dadi
Yes.
wala, but may think of somebody, let's say, not as grown beard as me, as somebody who is gentle. But for all you know, the opposite may be true. Right? So
Mm.
so yes, so let's get into that. So the whole the, it is important for us to realize, because if we were abused and we realized that the one part was we were not prepared, the society was not in our favor, or the social setup was not in our favor, and on top of that, when we wanted to express, when we wanted to share, when we did not know how to do it, with whom to do it, and the people whom we were doing it may not be ready to receive it. Like somebody else was
Yeah.
mentioning, that the parents might shut it off, or lots of different things will happen. So it's equally important to, so I'll, okay, Pandita, would you like to lead this? Would you like to just start with what do we do to prepare the child, as well as the social setup into the post one? So one is, okay, let's see how we can escape from abuse, which is the best deal. Let's say worst case, we get into any situation where the child comes back and says that person did X to me. What do we do as parents? As and what do we prepare to the child with in advance, as well as what do we do when the child comes to us?
Yes. Few things that I used to think of, and then I have spoken few things to my children is anything that happens. For example, you just fall, get hurt, your knee is bleeding. Is it your fault? Will you blame yourself for it? So the child obviously said, "No, it's not my fault. It happens. You just fall. It's all happened when you ran around." So the same way, if something uncomfortable happens beyond your control, so is it your fault? People might say that it is your fault, but what do you think? So then my child said, "No, it's not." Okay. Then what can we do then? Then my child said, "Okay, come to the parent." Then what if the parent is not there? Then talk to a trustable adult. Then who is the trustable adult? Then maybe we made a list of things, a list of people to whom my children felt very comfortable talking about anything and everything in the world, including these things that are not much spoken about in the families. They also know, they acknowledged very much that these topics are not spoken. My daughter said, none of my friends' families talk about this. So they knew kind of it is not very much acknowledged everywhere. So they knew, gave me a list of people to whom they felt comfortable talking about this. I think this was enough. I felt that because they are made to feel very natural and common about it. They're not made to feel anything, oh my God, this has happened, anything of that way. And they're also made aware of a channel through which they can communicate things and have an open discussion. I think these things are fair enough.
Okay. More thoughts? Others? If you allow me, I will, since it's already extra time in exam also. So what I was trying to say is that when it comes to preparing the child, the child communicating, somehow we think, again, I'm just kind of poking at everybody's belief, including mine. For some reason, we think that the child will come and tell us. We have this belief that we have very good communication with our children, and I think nothing can be a more dangerous belief. I'm not trying to say that we should keep running around thinking I have a horrible relationship with my child. Not that way, not the other extreme. But I'm saying we should realize that we are never 100% there. There is no perfect relationship. There will always be, if you allow me to use the word, secrets. And it's all right for the child to have secrets. It's all right for each one of us to have secrets. And if the child will have secrets from us, let us realize we can never be 100% communicative with the child. Or at least let me not believe that way. Now, what happens is when I believe that, my child will come and tell me everything, I have that kind of a relationship. Now, if I think of it that way, then for some strange reason, which I am not able to fathom, if the child does not communicate, but if I stay in that frame of mind, no, my relationship with my child is perfect, then I will. So this idea that my relationship is such that the child will share everything makes me not observe little things, because I'm already with that belief na ki my relationship is perfect. Or there's another belief that some parents have, many parents have, is that I will be able to sense it. What if I say to myself, maybe I will not be able to be sensitive, hence let me put my antenna little higher. Not in terms of that I need to always scan my child, but more scan myself. Can I be more humble in some of these beliefs about myself? And this humbleness makes me that much more open. Not the antenna. Antenna is not a good idea, because it's not that every time I'm trying to listen. No. Just I'm more humble with my beliefs about myself and my capabilities. And I say to myself, I can go wrong. The child can hide things from me. I may read the child wrong. My own, while I am the mother or the father, or the teacher, my ability to understand other is always limited. Now, when I think like that, I'm that much more proactive, active, etc., etc. Right? So I'm kind of almost like warning you, if you're okay with me doing that, is that let's tone down our own beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities, and let's be a little more open. As simple. Not as a, I'm not trying to put down myself. I'm just being more open. I'm just being more realistic and saying, hey, come on, I'm only 50-50 good enough, So which means I need to do that little extra, and I need to sit back and be a little more reflective and be a little more ponderous or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Thanks, Monica. And with that approach, so I'll give you an example. I tell children, dear, I can be terribly wrong. I can be terribly overwhelming. I can be um, terribly insensitive. So don't just depend on me. Create your own windows, create your own relationships, create your own counselors, create your own secret army. Those kind of ideas go well with some children, and so on and so forth. Exactly. Sujay, your message is so beautiful. It just needs one person to make the difference, not just in gated community, in every community. Exactly. One person to call a party. We have party for everything, party for Diwali, party for New Year. Why don't we have party against abuse? Where everybody comes, talks about, sings about taking care, whatever. Sings about being attentive and dances to children being safe. Why not? And me being humble. Okay. So I think, I don't know, I think it's a good point to pause. And leaving you with these 9 windows. The content can be sexuality, the content can be social life, the content can be thermodynamics, whatever. How does that matter? These are all contents. We need to enjoy these through the 9 windows, and enjoy our child through 9 windows, and enjoy ourselves through these 9 windows. And these 9 are not like 9, they are 9, and each one further has 9, and that 9 has 9, and that 9 has 9. So 9 raised to power 9 raised to power 9 raised to power 9 raised to power 9, whatever, that many windows. Okay, so I guess it's time to say goodbye for now. Good night for now. Sorry, not goodbye for now. Good night for now. And I'll send an invite. I'm still not sure about the date, but most probably, if you all are okay, I'll send maybe next Friday. We can have a small review session, which would typically be about an hour, hour and a half. So I'm hoping most of you will be able to take out that much time. We'll review the whole program, and yeah, it will give me an opportunity to formally invite all of you to visit us, stay with us at Arohi, and yeah. So we'll review the program as well as do that. So it's only good night for now, not goodbye as yet. And yeah, is next Friday kind of, can I take a quick, at 11:11, take a quick survey? Is next Friday looks good to most of you? It won't be long, it won't be till 11, just about an hour and a half or so. So we can have it somewhere around 8:30 to, let's say, 10 or something like that. I also want to give you a week's gap so that you get time to little think about the whole program.
Ratnesh, Radhe again. I don't think even then we'll be ready to say you goodbye.
Yeah,
to me, it's actually continuing, and thanks for everything.
Yes, Radhi, there's no goodbye. Where is the goodbye? Not to anybody. There's only good night. Yes. Okay. Thank you.